maybe don't resonate with you, and getting something out of that later on. So I just need to check something, if you don't mind. I don't have slides, so I'm just going to take this down. Over here. There we go. Now I can see you all, which I would rather do than show some slides. So welcome everybody. And I'll do this too.
Cheryl, if we change the view to speaker view, they will be able to see you instead of the audience here.
Okay.
So click down here. And change it to, oh, good, it is on.
Okay, thank you. So I am currently taking a course at Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute on self-care and self-compassion. So I thought, what better topic to talk about today, especially while some of it is fresh in my mind. Most of us already know that self-care matters. We may know it, but do we always do it? Are we always aware of it? We know we need rest, we need decent food, movement, water, boundaries, and time with people we love. Some of us, like me, know we should be putting down our cell phones more, and perhaps stop answering messages when we're supposed to be resting. We know all of that. And yet, when life becomes busy, who is the first person we leave off our priority list? You, me. We tell ourselves, I'll rest when this is finished, or I'll make times when things settle down. My best go-to is next week will be quieter, or next summer will be quieter. Surely summer is quieter? Well, let me tell you, it's a myth. That's what I found anyway. There will always be another email, another responsibility, another person who needs something from you, and somehow another load of laundry. It's never ending. We all need self-care, parents and grandparents, caregivers and volunteers, people building careers, people supporting families, and people who have quietly become the most dependable one in almost every room they enter. And it's true for all of us. Sometimes we don't even notice how much we're carrying because we've become so good at carrying it. I've started to use the analogy for self-care as tending a garden. If a plant begins to droop, we don't stand over it and say, really, you want some more water? We understand that living things require care, but we don't always extend the same courtesy to ourselves. We expect ourselves to be producing, helping, caring, and showing up even when the soil has become depleted. And this becomes even more so when we genuinely love others and love serving them. It's easy to spend our lives watering everybody else's garden while forgetting our own. Unity co-founder Charles Fulmore said, Words are also seeds. So what are we planting? What are we telling ourselves? How are we speaking to ourselves? Not only in the way we speak to ourselves, but also in what we carry into the lives of other people. I don't know about you. When I'm depleted, it doesn't stay quietly inside of me. It can come out through my tone, my impatience, my absence, or the way I respond. Even when love is my intention, the people closest to me can end up receiving the exhausted version of me. So self-care is not only about what I do for myself, it's also about caring for the quality of what moves in and through me into the lives of others. Unity's third and fifth principles: my thoughts, words, and actions create, and living the truth I know. The words I choose, the way I listen, whether I react or pause, whether I bring irritation or kindness into a room, these are also expressions of self-care. When I tend to what is happening within me, I have more freedom to choose what I want to plant around me. That doesn't mean a well-rested person will never be impatient or say the wrong thing. After all, we are human, are we not? It simply means we are less likely to live from an empty space and call it love. There have been times in my own life, as I'm sure in many of yours too, when I neglected myself while trying to care for other people, fix a difficult situation, or trying to help repair a relationship. How many have ever tried to help repair a relationship? Well, I can tell you, it didn't work for me. So you can only let them do what they can do themselves. So moving on. At first, I simply felt tired. Then my patience became thinner, and I said some horrible things. Small things felt enormous. I became more emotional, less present, and less like the person I wanted to be. So neglecting ourselves doesn't always look dramatic, though. Sometimes it can be snapping at someone we love, or withdrawing from the people around us, losing interest in the things that usually bring us joy, or feeling resentful about responsibilities we once chose freely. Sometimes it sounds like, "I'm fine," spoken through clenched teeth. How many of you recognize at least one of these signs? Many of us do. On one occasion, I ended up in hospital. My body finally demanded the pause that I had refused to give myself, and so did my mind. This was many years ago in my 20s when my husband and I had our own business. We had 2 kids, and things were very stressful at the time. Another time, there was so much happening in both my personal life and at work that looking back, I can see I was approaching a mental breaking point. The signs were there, but I really didn't truly understand them. It seems the people around me did not understand them either, even though they saw how much I was struggling. I reached out for help at the time. However, I did not experience being in a safe place where I could speak openly and honestly. I felt very alone and unsupported. Eventually, I left a job I loved, and one, even if I may say so, I was good at. For a long time, I carried grief, and with the benefit of hindsight, I can now hold the experience with greater compassion. I was overwhelmed and doing the best I could with the awareness and support I had at the time. To the point, experience has taught me that self-care cannot wait for some other time. If I don't intentionally include myself in my own life, it's remarkably easy to leave myself out. So now I schedule times for it. What does it look like? Looks different for everyone. For me, it's meditation. It's having a massage every now and again. It's having a pedicure, which I love. And going for a walk, being in nature, spending quality time with my grandchildren. Sometimes it can even be taking a break, having a glass of water, breathing consciously, and going outside for some fresh air. Everyone has their own self-care needs, and I encourage you to think about that and what some of them might be for you. Most of us do not need to reach a crisis before we allow ourselves to pause. We can learn to listen to the whisper instead of waiting until life has to shout at us. My husband, Kevin, and I were talking about this the other day. He said to me that nobody can be on 365 days a year. Nobody has fresh, inspiring, mind-bending ideas every single week. Sometimes the ideas flow and the energy is there, and sometimes it's not. He also made the comparison to maintaining a car. He has such great analogies. We don't expect to run forever. We don't expect our cars to run forever without checking the brakes, servicing what is worn, or recharging the battery. But we often expect ourselves to keep going until our own battery is completely flat. And by the time the battery is flat, we blame ourselves for where we are and how we have come to that. Which of course is like shouting at a car which needs more fuel. This is true whether we are leading a spiritual community, running a business, raising a family, caring for someone, volunteering, or simply trying to be the person others can count on. We don't look at a garden in winter and decide that it has failed. We understand that something important is happening here beneath the surface. The garden is resting, releasing what it needs to release, and preparing for new growth. We, you and me, have seasons like that too. There are times of flowering and visibility, and times when our most important work is taking place quietly beneath the surface. Winter is not a character flaw, and a lull is not proof that we have lost our purpose. Sometimes a quiet season is how life clears space for the next idea, the next direction, or the next version of us. This is where people we have around us matter. We need our partners, friends, and communities to not expect us to be endlessly energetic or to have everything figured out all the time. We need people who can see us having a difficult day or even a difficult season without judging or deciding that something has gone terribly wrong. Support is not always fixing the problem. Sometimes it's taking one thing off someone's plate. Sometimes it's listening without giving advice. Sometimes it's just saying, you don't have to be strong with me today. Let's talk about rest, renewal, and regeneration. Rest is not abandoning what matters. It is one way we remain able to serve what matters. And this is where unity gives self-care a deeper spiritual meaning. In unity, rest is more than stopping activity. It is a return to center, a quiet space in which we remember the one life within and all around me. The place within where life is inexhaustible. Unity sometimes calls this regeneration, the ongoing process of being made new. I don't hear that as becoming some new flawless spiritual being. I hear it as aligning and allowing the divine life already within me to renew my thoughts, my habits, and the way I show up. Rest then is not something I earn after doing enough. It's one of the ways I cooperate with the renewing movement of life. And that can be difficult to accept in a culture that often measures worth by productivity. We may feel guilty when we stop. I know I did for the longest time, as though our value has briefly gone offline. But a tree doesn't apologize for winter. The soil does not feel guilty for lying fallow. Life itself moves in rhythms of activity and rest, giving and receiving, expression and renewal. One practice that helps can be very simple. Notice, pause, and choose. First, notice, become aware of what we're saying. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm about to say yes when everything inside of me is saying no. Notice what we are saying and speaking, how we are speaking to ourselves. Then pause. Sometimes one conscious breath is enough to interrupt the automatic response. Hang on a sec. I can choose differently. I can choose how to see this differently, and I can choose a better way of how to be differently. Maybe the answer is to continue. Maybe it's to stop or to say no, or ask for help, or simply breathing before responding. The choice does not have to be dramatic. It might be, like I said, drinking a glass of water before answering the next email, taking 10 quiet minutes in the car before going into a meeting, or asking someone else to make dinner, deciding that 1 or 2 tasks can wait until tomorrow. There are many different ways and different things that work for different people. It's also important, though, to notice the difference between awareness and judgment. Awareness says, I'm exhausted. Judgment says, I shouldn't be exhausted. Awareness says, I need help. Judgment says, I should be able to manage this myself. Notice, too, how becoming aware of what we need and meeting ourselves with compassion is an essential form of self-care. Setting a boundary can be an act of love. Asking for help can be an act of wisdom. And receiving can be every bit as sacred as giving. And sometimes self-care is repairing the effect our depletion has had on someone else. I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you. I was feeling overwhelmed, and you did not deserve that. Taking responsibility, it's another way of tending the garden within. Some days we tend the whole garden, and some days we simply tend one small plant to keep alive. Both count. So I don't want to finish by giving you 10 more things to add to your self-care list. That would rather defeat the purpose, don't you think? Instead, I invite you to ask yourself, what does my garden need today? What is one seed of self-care I am willing to tend to? Perhaps your body needs rest. Perhaps your mind needs quiet, or your heart needs connection, or maybe a certain boundary needs strengthening. Perhaps joy has been waiting for your attention. You don't need to redesign your life. Just name one seed, and not the seed that sounds impressive either. Name the one you are genuinely willing to take care of. Notice, pause, choose. A small act of care, an honest conversation, a request for help, an earlier bedtime, one deep breath. These can all make a big difference. Because self-care may not be about becoming a better version of ourselves. Perhaps it is learning to care for the person who is already here. I invite you to say to yourselves, I am one of the lives I choose to care for.
One of the lives that I choose to care for.
Let us move into meditation. I invite you just to close your eyes, and if you're comfortable, allow your hands to rest easily. Simply become aware of your breath. No need to change it. Just notice breathing in and breathing out. With each breath, allow yourself to return to the quiet center of your being, a little quieter, a little more aware of the inexhaustible life within you. Breathing in, receiving, and breathing out, releasing. And now, in your imagination, picture a garden, your garden. There is no right way for it to look. Simply allow an image to come. Perhaps there are flowers, trees, a pathway, sunlight. Perhaps there are places flourishing with color and life. And perhaps there are places that need a little attention. Walk gently through this garden. There's nothing here to judge, nothing you need to fix in this moment. Simply notice. Notice what is flourishing. Notice what may have been neglected. And notice what is asking for your attention. Perhaps it's your body asking for rest. Perhaps it's your mind asking for quiet. Perhaps your heart is asking for connection. Or maybe your spirit is asking you simply to be still. There's no judgment, only awareness. And now imagine yourself tending this garden, not out of obligation, not because something is wrong in it, but because this life is worthy of your care. Your life is worthy of your care. And the renewing life within you is always at work. Perhaps there's something you're ready to put down. A responsibility that isn't yours, an expectation you no longer need to carry, guilt about taking time for yourself, the belief that you must do everything or do everything perfectly. And with your next breath, allow yourself to release it. Quietly affirm, I release what no longer serves me. I give myself permission to rest. I honor what I need, and I bless my body with love. I receive as freely as I give, allowing the life within me to restore and renew me. I am worthy of my own care. And now imagine that you are holding one small seed in your hand. This seed represents one act of self-care you are willing to plant in your life. Not 10 things, not an entirely new life, just one. What is your seed? Is it rest, a boundary, movement, quiet, joy, asking for help, time with someone you love, or time alone? Or perhaps it's simply speaking more gently to yourself. Whatever has come to you, let that be enough. In your imagination, gently place that seed into the soil and cover it. Trust it. You don't have to force it to grow. Your part is simply to tend it. One day, one choice, one loving act at a time. And remember, there is one life moving through all creation, the same life expressing through every tree, every flower, every breath, and through you. You are not separate from this life. You are an expression of it, whole, worthy, and deeply alive. And so quietly affirm, I tend the garden of my life with love. I listen to the wisdom within me. Just sit with that for a moment. I tend the garden of my life with love, and I listen to the wisdom within me. And remember, notice, pause, choose. When you're ready, return to this room, wiggle your fingers and your toes, and gently open your eyes. Thank you. Before I leave, though, I have a joke. What do you call a spiritual wolf? A werewolf.